Welcome back to Trail Mix. As you can see, I'm not on a trail or on my bike. I'm in my back garden. I thought I'd do a bit of a different video this time. I thought I'd show you this restoration project that I've got ongoing at the minute with my old bike. Well, I say old, it's a 10-year-old, but it's a Cube Reaction GTC Race, carbon 29er, 2014 model. It's the bike that you've seen in all my previous videos, the ones where I'm bike packing mainly. In my earlier videos, if you go back far enough, but just over the years it's just had the usual wear and tear until the point the frame cracked. There was a little crack in the frame, and I was just about to just write the bike off and just say, well, you can't fix it, can you? I didn't think you could fix carbon frames, but apparently you can. After all the research I did on the internet, and I bought this little kit off eBay, followed all the instructions and everything, put this resin stuff on, sanded it all down. It's worked really well, and I've decided to do a full-on restoration project and make my old bike new again. So I'm going to upgrade it as well with 1x components. I'm going to ditch the old school triple chain set 10-speed, and I'm going to move on to 1x, and I'll explain the compatibility issues I had to overcome in research, and I'll tell you about the paint on the bike as well, because I had it resprayed, and I'll tell you all about it step by step as we go. So let's build this jigsaw then, eh? So this is the frame. Like I say, I had it professionally resprayed by a car body shop, a shop called Bodyline in Dunstan. Spot on lads, really good, excellent customer care. I totally recommend them if you need any kind of bespoke kind of work done, because they were absolutely brilliant. So the colour that I opted for was, I just wanted something like bog standard, easy to retouch if I had any like chips in that, so I've chosen a metallic red. Can you see there how nice it is in the sun? And it looks totally different to my other bike. I wanted something completely different. What I did was any nicks in the frame and little dents and things like that, I filled it in with car body fill and then sanded it down, and I used 400 grit, then 600 grit paper, as per the recommendations of other people who've done it before. I'm not an expert, I'm just telling you what I've learned. That little bit there, that's unpainted, that's where the front derailleur was. So I bought this little face plate to screw on there. On the bottom is where the cables for the front derailleur used to go, so I filled that in with that Sugru stuff. And one of the reasons I've decided to go 1x is the front derailleur, over the years I just found I was just constantly just adjusting it and maintaining it almost every ride, and it just done me head in. So that's the reason I've went 1x really. So yeah, so we'll start building it then. I'm going to put that face plate on first. I don't know why I'm doing that first, but I am. And I think the most important thing here is for us to take my time, because if I rush it, I'm going to make a mistake. I tend to do that. Why is it not going in? There it is. That looks much better, doesn't it? Nice clean finish. The next thing I'm going to be doing is putting the bottom bracket in. This is the same one, I'm sure, that was in before, the BBMT 800. Yeah, so that's going to go in. Just going to put a tiny bit of grease on the inside of the bottom bracket shell, so it slides in easier. Alright, this is the tool, bottom bracket tool. I've had this for years, and it's worked every time. So let's keep our fingers crossed nothing changes. And the most important thing, as you probably know, is to get it lined up. I don't normally use this work stand, to be honest. Like, I've got like a hanger in the in the garage that I hang my bikes on, and I usually do them on there. So I've only got it on the stand because I'm trying to do the maintenance outside where the lighting's better for my GoPro. Right, that looks pretty straight. Well, yeah, it is. It's going in. It's going in. The other side isn't like. Oh, it is. Come on, bottom bracket. You can do it. You can do it. You know you want to go in. You know you want to go into this new frame. A new bottom bracket and a new frame. What I was going to say, like, over the years, I've replaced all the components, well, most of them. I've upgraded them, or I've just replaced them when they've, just through wear and tear. The only remaining things actually on my bike is the frame and the suspension forks. So do you remember on Only Fools and Horses, when Trigger was going, he's had the same broom for years. He's had like 20 new mop heads and 20 handles. well, this is this bike. This bike is like Trigger's broom. Actually, that's what I may call it. Does anybody have names for the bikes? I never used to, but I did when I got my other bike, my new one that I love. And you might have seen on the videos, I don't know if you've noticed it, the little sticker on the top tube. The other one's called Bodie and this one's Dial. And yes, you do have to be a certain age group to understand what I'm talking about. Right, that's done. Looks flush, looks good. New top headset bearing, lightly greased. I'm hoping it's just going to push in. Nah. Might be just going to get me rubber mallet. That's it. Nice and smooth. What I've noticed about these bearings, the top and especially the bottom one, on this bike anyway, because like I say, I ride this one through the winter, is that they only last about a year or two at the most. But as long as you know what bearing is required for replacement, they're dead cheap to replace. I got this one off Amazon, believe it or not. Yeah, I think it was a tenner. I think it was £10 for the top and the bottom. So I'm going to put the suspension forks in now, and then I'm going to crack on putting all the brake hoses on. Right. I mean, I could probably just put that. Right, hold on a minute. Can you give us a hand? Anybody who's watching, give us a hand, will you? That normally just, oh, it's in. It's in. And these are these suspension forks. Are the ones I resprayed myself, which I'm really pleased with. They're showing signs of wear now, like, but probably do them again next year. Quite easy to do. Right, that's in there. FSA Orbit headset, I think it is. Spacers. Put that one in first because I'm pedantic. Handlebars. The handlebars are new. I resprayed the ones I had on, but I found the handlebars they weren't very wide, so I've seen these on Merlin Cycles. I think they were like 12 quid or something, like in a sale, and they've got a nice sweep to them, so I just bought them. When I resprayed my suspension forks, I've got some new stickers for it as well. Like I say, there was dents in them and everything, because I have these mounts that go on there for when I'm bike packing to attach your water bottles, and if you over tighten them, which I must have done, the screws go into the metal of the fork. But I filled it in with the carb bodywork filler and sanded it down and resprayed it, and it's worked really well. I'll tell you the price of everything I paid for. Oh, that's ultra smooth, that. For all the upgrades and the spray paint at the end and everything. Yeah. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting the brake hoses on. All right. So these are Shimano XT brakes. They've been fantastic. 2014 versions. I don't feel I need to replace them, so I'm not going to. Yeah, goes around that way, Lee. I didn't say I was a professional, did I? I'm not even novice, man. I really do enjoy maintenance, right? But sometimes I get frustrated if I make simple mistakes. So, you know, when I said it before, like, you've really got to take your time. Take your time, enjoy it, don't rush it. In fact, I'm gonna make a cup of tea in a minute. You know me with cups of tea and that. Do you know, I was just thinking there as well. Do you know this wireless transmission that's getting bandied about in a minute, you know, like as if it's like the future? What's people's opinions on that? And secondly, I'm surprised I haven't thought of having wireless brakes. But then again, is there anyone in the right mind actually going to trust a wireless system with the brakes? Can you imagine if it like malfunctioned? Like the battery ran out or something and you're going down like a 30% hill? No. Anyway. So I'll get the cable ties, I'll put the kettle on, and then I'll tell you what I'm doing next in a minute. Move them around there like that, you cannot see them. Tidy job. Two more to do. And that's not really exciting footage this for your leg, but if you're ever struggling to get to sleep on a night time, if you've got insomnia, just chuck this on the background and you'll be asleep in no time. That's it. Cup of tea time. Anyway, I'm going to have a cup of tea and a hot dog. This is my new shifter. So this one's 11 speed. So the reason I couldn't go to 12 speed is that I would have needed a new rear hub and a new free hub, and the price, the cost would have just went up and up, and then I would have to get the wheel rebuilt, and this is going to be the cheapest, best way to make it one by, where there's going to be no compatibility issues, including the chain line. I'll explain about the chain line in a minute. when I go to put the chain set on, if you don't know where it is, because I didn't know where it was at the time. I do now, but yeah, move on a little bit. I'll adjust all these later. So I'm not tightening the bolts fully, because there's no point. It's only when the bike's complete that I'll be able to know exactly where I want them. So that's it. Is that? Oh, is my bell not working now? Ah, it is. These are stiff, and I remember. Again, there's no point in tightening them fully. Do you know what? I think I've done something wrong here. Like, doesn't look right. Oh no, it does look right. I had to think about what I was doing there. Just to protect it. Yeah, it's in. Just leaving a little knock. What I do know about these hollow tech cranks through trial and error. Oh, told you I wasn't a professional, didn't I? What I do know about the, I start again. I do know what I do know about these hollow tech cranks is this is the preload of the bearing, so you've got to just tighten it finger tight, because once you start tightening these bolts here, that adds tension to the bearing as well, and you don't want it to be too tight because they'll prematurely wear, and you don't want it to be too loose either. So what I normally do is tighten it and then back off, and then just finger tight like that. Do it again. Finger tight. There you are. And you'll find with a oh, it is spinning quite good. Like, you'll find with a new bottom bracket, because there's so much grease in the bearings, it'll not spin loads until the bearings start wearing in. As far as I'm aware, that thing's supposed to be pushed down. Correct us if I'm wrong, anyone. And then it's important to tighten these up bit by bit in equal measure. The other chain set I've got on my other bike, it's a carbon chain set, and the E13 and the bottom bracket, I couldn't get my head around the preload system. In fact, I think I was incorrectly setting the preload, and the bearings were only lasting a month. But I read everything online about it, couldn't find an answer, and then I worked it out myself. It's hard to explain, but basically I worked it out myself, and I had been under tightening the preload. There wasn't enough preload. So you'll find if there's not enough or too much, the bearings can last literally a few weeks sometimes. I've never had a problem with these Shimano Hollowtech cranks. Like, actually, this isn't a Hollowtech one. This is the cheap one. Oh, look at that, man. So this is the rear derailleur. Shimano Deore M5100 SJX. Sorry, SJS, 11 speed. Do you know the 10 speed one I had on it? I haven't had that long. Haven't had that on very long, because the other one broke. Well, I've had on about a year. Anyway, any of the spare components, I'm going to chuck them on eBay. Someone will buy them. There you go. I'll try not to drop it. Let's hope it's straightforward. You know, the B adjustment screw and all that. Let's hope it's just straightforward. So I've got this one's got a clutch on as well. So that's it. That's the clutch not engaged, and then it's the opposite to me XTR one. How weird. Right, I'll have to put the gear hanger on. Looks nice, that, doesn't it? So my bike originally, I'm going to see if I can find any previous photos. It was a lovely bike when it was all, you know, back in the day when it was all new. Well, not new, but like before it started getting like scratched and cracked frames and everything. It was matte black, matte carbon black. Like, actually it wasn't, it was like a dark grey with like a white stripe all the way down. Very subtle, stealthy. But it's nice to have, if you're going to restore something, it's nice to do something completely different, isn't it? You know, I feel the tension on that spring, like. See that black thing there? I'll point to it with me, that. It moves. Well, I've tightened it now, but it moves around. You've got to make sure that that is flush against this shape of the derailleur hanger. Because that's how you'll be able to adjust the bead tension and that. Got myself some outer and inner cables, brand new. I only need one cable now, so that's good. That means I'll have spares. I've always found that if you replace the outer cable at the same time as the inner cable, not always, but if you want your gears to be really smooth, a new outer and inner at the same time, it's like your bike's brand new, as long as you adjust them, the indexing properly. So I'm just going to cut these the same length of the ones I took out, which are all rusty and, well, not rusty, just old. I think these are only like 11 quid or something. It's like a full set. So that'll probably last us like a year, 2 years. And my old ones are rusty. So what I'll do is I'll just approximately have them the same length. So this is for the bit that goes on the handlebars. And then there's the bit under the frame that I've got to do as well. Because this is an older bike, it hasn't got full internal routing, cable routing. The derailleur cables go inside the frame, but not the brakes. Put them new on the end, look. Ferrules or whatever you call them. And if you're really sad, have the bit with the writing on. Yeah. On display. Because that's really important, isn't it? Got to have white writing on display, haven't you? Or silver writing. That's it. It's a little tip for you. If you're ever struggling to get your cable through, get a magnet. The stronger the better. This one I've got here has a fid lock bottle mount. Goes on your frame or there. and it's got a dead strong magnet, and if you can feed it through. So my water bottle mount fidlock, my water bottle mount cage goes there, but these don't work on it. I'm just going to put these in for now because they look good, although red on red probably might not work, I don't know. Just put them in for now. I've got some silver ones like, so I can just put them in. It's the little details that make all the difference, man. And one of the things you should never do with these is over tighten them. In fact, there's quite a lot of things on your bike you shouldn't over tighten, especially them. I've always noticed they never come off in one piece. Well, sometimes they do. Haven't had this cassette for very long either. Spacer. Just need to prise it off. There it is. Probably could do with a new free hub, to be honest. But it still works, so there's no point in replacing it for no reason. These hubs have been brilliant, like. So these aren't the wheels that I got with my bike. I upgraded them to Stan's Crests Ultralight, but I always had a problem with the rear one, and then it keeps cracking around the spoke holes. And then I got an arch, which was the Stan's arch, which were the stronger, and that lasted a bit longer, and they started cracking as well. And it's a common problem apparently in that particular. I don't know if they've improved them now, they might have done. So anyway, I got a DT Swiss XR331, which was still very light. I don't know if you can still get them now, and I've had no trouble with that with this rim. So I thoroughly recommend them. So the hubs are Novatex, and I must have had these hubs for about 8 years even. Rode through 8 winters, mud, rain, you name it, and the bearings are ultra smooth. I don't understand how. They're obviously good hubs, and I've heard mixed reviews about these. I've heard that a lot of people saying they're crap, but I don't know. Anyway, there's a spacer on there. Just leave that on. I'll clean that up and then put the new cassette on, I mean. Just a little bit of light grease there. I don't know how this, I mean, it's really eroded this free hub now. I think this happens to all of them, to be honest. You see where the cassette's been digging into the metal. But it, you know, I mean, it functionally works, so there's no point in replacing it. The thing is, I wouldn't know exactly which one to get. I've noticed every time I need something for my bike, whatever bike it is, and it's a part I've never had before, the amount of research and digging you've got to do to find out if it's the right one, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Right, this is what's going on. This is the 11 speed. It's massive compared to this other one. It's 11 to 51, so it's not quite the same range as on Body, but it's close, and I don't have to change that. If I put it to 12 speed, I would have to put the new micro spline one on. That hub wouldn't work because it's a 135mm hub, and I think the micro spline ones are for boost, which is 142mm. It's all to do with the spacing in between there, and I just don't think it's worth it. And the 12 speed's much more expensive. and you know, I'm happy with what I'm doing. This is the right decision. So wait till you see this. You notice cassettes look lovely when they're new. Oh, that's it did look nice. Anyway, that's it. Oh. There you go. I know some people might think that should be sprayed into the frame, stenciled, but that would have just bumped the price up massively. These are vinyl stickers, and they do last quite a while. I'm not that proud, like. I think they look good. That goes really well, doesn't it? I had a feeling that white would go really well on that red. Right, that's it. Get the quick link, I mean. So I was going to explain to you before was about chainline, wasn't it? I'll try and explain it as simply as I can because I barely understand it. So this bike has got an old standard rear hub spacing. That means the width. So the width of it's 135 millimeters. The current standard is 145. I think it went to 142 and now it's 145. This front chain set is designed for 142, right? Which means it's going to make the angle of the chain more extreme. Now, the more extreme you have the angle of the chain, the less smooth the gears are going to change, and they're going to be very noisy. So even though Shimano said this particular model works under 135 millimeter rear hub spacing, it doesn't, not perfectly. So this is not my idea, I got this off the internet. A few people have said if you can find a way of moving the chain ring further over there, that way towards the frame, it'll massively improve the shifting because it'll straighten the chain line, the angle up a little bit. Even 2 millimeters makes a difference, to be honest, but I'll put another one in that makes it even better. So I bought these little spacers off eBay. They were like a fiver, I think, and that's massively improved the shifting. It's not perfect, but it's definitely very good, I would say. So that's it. This is me bike finished. Coming up, I'll show you it all done. Yeah, thanks for watching, and any feedback, what you think of it, would be appreciated. See you in the next one.